went as usual to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. On reaching the place, he said to them,
"Sit here while I pray."
He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled.
"My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch."
Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him.
"Abba, Father, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will."
Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping.
"Simon, are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak."
Once more he went away, and he prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say. Returning the third time,
"Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough! The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer."
just as he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, appeared. With him was a crowd armed with swords and clubs sent from the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them.
"The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away under guard."
Going at once to Jesus, Judas said,
"Rabbi."
and kissed him. The men seized Jesus and arrested him. Then everyone deserted him and fled.
"206. There is a Redeemer." There is a Redeemer, Jesus, God's own Son, precious Lamb of God, Messiah, Holy One. Thank you, oh my Father, for giving us your Son, and leaving your Spirit till the work on earth is done. Jesus, my Redeemer, name above all names, precious Lamb of God, Messiah, oh, the sinners slain. Thank you, oh my Father, for giving us your Son, and leaving your Spirit till the work on earth is done. When I stand in glory, I will see his face. Then I'll serve my King forever in that holy place. Thank you, oh my Father, for giving us your Son, and leaving your Spirit till the work on earth is done.
They took Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law came together. Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest. There he sat with the guards and warmed himself at the fire. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death, but they did not find any. Many testified against him, but their statements did not agree. Then some stood up and gave this false testimony against him.
We heard him say, I will destroy the temple made with human hands in 3 days. We'll build another, not made with hands.
Yes, even then, their testimony did not agree. Then the high priest stood up before them and asked Jesus,
Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?
I am. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven.
The high priest tore his clothes.
Why do we need any more witnesses? We have heard the blasphemy. What do you think?
They all condemned him as worthy of death. Then some began to spit at him. They blindfolded him, struck him with their fists, and said,
Prophesy.
and the guards took him and beat him.
Number 178. 178, O sacred head, thou art. O sacred head, now wounded, with grief and shame weighed down, now sorrowfully surrounded, with thorns thine only crown. How pale thou art with anguish, with sore abuse and scorn. How does that visage languish, which once was bright as morn? What thou, my Lord, hast suffered was all for sinners' gain. Mine was the transgression, but thine the deadly pain. Oh, here I fall, my Savior, 'tis I deserve thy praise. Look on me with thy favor, assist me with thy grace. What language shall I borrow to thank thee, dearest friend, for this thy dying sorrow, thy pity without end? Oh, make me thine forever, and should I fainting be, Lord, let me never, never outlive my love to thee.
Very early in the morning, the chief priests, the elders, the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin made their plans. So they bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, who asked.
Are you the King of the Jews?
You have said so.
The chief priests accused him of many things. So again, Pilate asked him,
Are you not going to answer? See how many things they're accusing you of.
But Jesus still made no reply. Pilate was amazed. Now it was the custom at the festival to release a prisoner whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did.
Do you want me to release to you the King of the Jews?
The Pilate knew that the chief priests had handed Jesus over to him out of self-interest. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead.
What shall I do then with the one you call the King of the Jews?
The crowd shouted,
Crucify him!
"Want?"
Why? What crime has he committed?
But the crowd shouted louder,
Crucify him! Crucify him!
Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. The soldiers led Jesus away to the palace and called together the whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him, then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him, and they began to call out to him,
Hail, King of the Jews!
Again and again they struck him on the head with a staff and spit on him. Falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they'd mocked him, they took off the purple robe, put his own clothes on him, then they led him out to crucify him.
Number 186, The Old Rugged Cross. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. I will sing to the old rugged cross, and exchange it someday for a crown. Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised by the world, has a wondrous attraction for me. For the dear Lamb of God left his glory above to bear it to the Calvary. For I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, and exchange it someday for a crown. In the old rugged cross, stained with blood so divine, a wondrous beauty I see. For 'twas on that old cross Jesus suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross, and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. So
They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it, and they crucified him. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get. It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified 2 rebels with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying,
So you are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days. Come down from the cross and save yourself.
in the same way the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves.
He saved others, but he cannot save himself. Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe.
Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. At noon, darkness came over the land until 3 in the afternoon. And at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice.
My God, why have you forsaken me?"
When some of those standing there heard this, they said,
Listen, he is calling Elijah.
Someone ran and filled a sponge with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink.
Now leave him alone. Let us see if Elijah comes to take him down.
With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and when the centurion who was standing there in front of Jesus saw how he died, he said,
Surely this man was the Son of God.
Number 185. 185, when I survey the wondrous cross. When I survey the wondrous cross, on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, save in the death of Christ my God. All the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them to his blood. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. There such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown. Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were a present for too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all.
Is this my water, David? not yours, right? I was looking back over the Good Friday messages that I've done over the past 10 years, and I noticed a trend to them all. Many times, I have come back to an idea of response. How are we going to respond to the death of Jesus? Over and over and over again, I asked that question over the past 10 years. How will we respond to the call of Jesus? When a call is made, a response is expected. Back in the day, before I became an ancient man, and I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones. Most everyone here has experienced those days. You had the landline, and if you wanted to, instead of answering the phone, you could have an answering machine. They would answer the phone for you. Growing up, that's what we had. We had the answering machine because we didn't want to answer the phone and have a telemarketer on the other end of it. So we'd have the answering machine. We never picked up the phone. Answering machine always answered it. And we'd listen to see who was on the other end. And if there was silence, we knew it was someone that we didn't want to talk to. And sometimes we would be a grandmother or a friend or a sibling who's off to college, and we would run across the house to pick up that phone before they stopped leaving the message and answer it, and we could talk with them. Now we all have cell phones, most of us, and we can look at it and say, oh yeah, I don't feel like it right now, and we put it back. And even then, there's expected to call that person back. It's expected to have a response when a call is made. Today, we're going to see 3 responses to the call that Jesus makes in the Passion narrative. We're going to see the insults, we're going to see the pleading, we're going to see the mercy. First, the insults. Luke records for us in his gospel in Luke 23, verse 39. He talks about the 2 criminals that were crucified on either side of Jesus. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us. This criminal is jumping into the fray. People had been passing by Jesus as he's hanging there on the cross. The soldiers, the religious leaders, the crowd, and they're hurling insults saying, if you're the Messiah, then do this. Prove it to us, because we really don't think you are. If you were the Messiah, you wouldn't be hanging there. And now the criminal who's hanging there on the cross is doing the same thing. We don't know anything about this guy. Nothing. All we know is that he did something wrong, bad enough that he deserved the worst capital punishment that Rome could think of. And he's hanging there on his cross. His feet are nailed into the wood, his hands are nailed into the wood, and the only way he can breathe is by pushing down on the nails in his feet and pulling up by the nails in his hand to take a breath. And he goes through that agony to mock Jesus. Can you imagine what was going through his brain, that he was willing to go through that agony, to take more breaths, to hurl insults at this man hanging next to him? This criminal is a real guy, really lived in history, really suffered that miserable death. But he is also a picture of so many people in this world. People who are spiritually dead, 1 foot in hell, and Jesus is there holding out his hand saying, I'll help you. I'll help you. And their only response is to mock him. If you're the Messiah, prove it. Well, he has, and they don't care. We're surrounded by these people. In fact, some of us in this room might be that person. You might say, oh, I never mocked Jesus in my life. But the thing is, anyone who hears who Jesus is and what he did, but refuses to believe in him, is joining that person on the cross, mocking Jesus, saying, oh, you say you're the Messiah? Don't care. If you're this person, I beg you, please stop. See Jesus for who he is and follow him. Just like the other criminal did. He looked at Jesus, hanging next to him, and this criminal pleaded with Jesus. Luke 23, 40-42, but the other criminal rebuked him. Don't you fear God, he said, since you're under the same sentence? We're punished justly, for we're getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong. Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. This criminal makes 3 powerful statements to Jesus. First, this criminal claims that he's being punished justly. Most criminals don't do this. In fact, the saying is, jails are filled with the innocent. Everyone walking around saying, I didn't do it. I don't deserve to be here. But this man looks at Jesus and says, yeah, I deserve to die for what I did. I am a sinner. But then he looks at Jesus, hanging next to him, and says, but this man isn't. This man's innocent of all wrongdoing. A sinless man dying a sinner's death. Just like a lamb that's happening around this time, being led to the temple on Passover. That lamb has done no wrong. It's spotless inside and out, yet it is killed for the sin of its masters. Only the sinless can bear the sin of a sinner. And the criminal, as he is struggling to breathe, asks Jesus the question, remember me when you come into your kingdom. In that sentence, he confessed that he believed Jesus, who Jesus claimed to be. That Jesus is the promised Messiah, the Son of God, dying for the sins of the people. That's all he knew. He's a sinner. Jesus isn't, yet Jesus is the Messiah. And he pleaded with Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Remember me. Bring me with you. Save me. Has there been a point in your life when you realized, like the thief on the cross, that you were a sinner? That you deserved the punishment that is before you, and you realized who Jesus was? That he is the Son of God who died for the sins of the world, and that you needed him. That he is the only one who could help you. And so you cried out, Jesus, save me. Remember me. I need you. As they're hanging on the cross, the one who insults and the one who pleads, gasping for the breath, Jesus turns to the second man and says in verse 43, truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. Oh, the mercy. The day those 3 died, 1 descended to hell, and 2 entered paradise. I love what Alistair Begg, in his Scottish voice, he comments about the thief on the cross. He says, what happened when that thief walked up to the gates of paradise? And the angel looks at him and says, why are you here? And the guy says, I don't know, really. Well, do you know this point of doctrine and that point of doctrine? Do you know this? And the guy says, no. All I know is the man on the middle cross said that I could enter. That's where our hope lies. Our hope is not in our works. Our hope is not in the church that we attend. Our hope is not in the prayers that we say. It's not in our baptism. It's not in the communion. It's not even in the fact that we believe in Jesus. We can do nothing to save ourselves. Our hope is in the completed work of Jesus on the Christ on the cross. Why am I redeemed? Why am I guaranteed eternity? Not because of what I have done, but because Jesus died on the cross for me. He paid the penalty for my sin so I could stand before the throne of God justified. And his child forever I am. It's all him. It's mercy. He offers the gift. We accept it. We place our faith in him alone. His sacrifice on the cross is applied to our account. He paid the penalty for the sin. He purifies us. He places us into kingdom. It's all because of Jesus. Because of Jesus, I don't follow that first thief on the cross to hell. That's what I deserve. But thanks be to the Lord, he doesn't give me what I deserve. Because of Jesus, I follow the second criminal to paradise. It's not what I deserve. But thanks be to God, he doesn't give me what I deserve. Where will you go? Which path are you on? It's only one or the other. There's no middle ground. Jesus died on the cross for you, whether you're willing to acknowledge it or not. He's calling you to respond to what he's done. He's offering you mercy. Will we respond by insults will you respond by pleading for Jesus' gracious gift? The choice, if you've not made it before, is yours. What will you do?
Take our hymnals and tune to number 177. 177. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that caused the load of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul. When I was sinking down, when I was sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath God's righteous frown, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul. To God and to the Lamb I will sing, To God and to the Lamb I will sing. To God and to the Lamb, who is the great I am, while millions join the theme, I will sing. While millions join the theme, I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be. And through eternity, I'll sing on, and through eternity, I'll sing on.
Will you pray with me? Father, thank you for the most amazing gift in the world. That 2,000 years ago, you sent your Son to die on the cross willingly for us. That whoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. That is truly the most amazing gift in the world. Thank you for saving my soul. Father, I pray this weekend as we celebrate the gift that you gave, that you would stir in people's hearts who have never made the decision to follow you, to do it. They would turn to you in faith and find in you what their heart desperately longs for. And Father, I pray you would help us who are on the other side of the decision, who are followers of you. Give us the ability to spread your word and call others to join that second thief and to plead for your mercy, which you willingly give. Give us those conversations, Lord, until you come again and call us home. Thanks, Father.